Freestyle the news!
And Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week.
Crash out like a summer, you could take it to the courts. I be blowing up your orders like it's Diddy with a Porsche. You could give up to the state and think you switching up the lore, till your history repeats and you just walking up the door like, who told you change the story? So hard to say you're sorry. End up divorcing, better off like you was Rick and Morty. I fly like one more sortie to prove you can't ignore me. They say we all gon' die, well not so you get paid here, Joni. Yeah, you can hear the buzzer from a packed garden. Y'all looking sus like you was buying Sydney bathwater. Talk a lot of shit until the drama that you had caught up. Put me on a mountain like a hill, I'm coming back harder. Real. Anyone for T.A.C.O now? 1 week loud, stop coming, drop on down. Then you get spooked and put the fucking stop on loud. Puff your chest, trying to fight the headlines out. Check and balance, sometimes semantic challenge that fucks up lives. Loopholes that look so callous. You think you smart, but bitch out when you get back there and make excuses on starving kids to act so practice. Get the fuck out. Think you change it for the better, but the controversy sticks when you got leads who feel like extras in a story about pressure. When they messing up their shots like it was RFK, you stepped up, you just pull up with a chopper. You can go ahead and flex some. Before the AI apocalypse, when nobody can stick around long enough for the doctorate, man, I'm positive. World gone wild, at least I ain't spitting Will Smith freestyles like, whoa! I'm in action, star, fuck off, Will. What is this? What is this, Will? I have a Stanley now, which is, I'm just gonna be honest, the sippy cup for adults. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching Freestyle the News. If you like what you heard, please adapt a beloved yet controversial sequel about a like button surviving a zombie apocalypse, but rob her of her agency and infantilize her character constantly, even though she's 5 years older, and ruin the revenge-obsessed arc that she had originally in the game or whatever the fuck you're actually talking about. But you actually have to also act like you like this thing, because the other people who don't like this adaptation like it for weird fucking reasons, because apparently they don't think the main character is attractive enough, which is a weird fucking reason to not like something. Maybe get a job and then leave a comment on your favorite bar. What the fuck happened with The Last of Us Season 2, man? I am thrown for a loop. This season started off really, really strong. I really kind of felt what they were trying to do with it. I loved episode 2 where the thing happens. But since then, it's just been a series of like, oh, what are these choices? And not all these choices were bad, but as the season went on, you kind of ran out of road to make Ellie this self-assured character. And I guess that she's not in this version. I don't want to spoil what happens at the end of the season, but I really did not enjoy the storytelling choices there. And listen, I've watched things adapted where the exact thing didn't happen either. Like I saw the live action One Piece, but I could still appreciate and enjoy it even though it's different. This, it's not that it's different, it felt not great. At times trivial. I'll talk about it some other time. We're back again. I'm so sorry. Freestyle the News has felt so sporadic over the last few months. But some good news. Actually, the Evo project has kind of stabilized and we're in a really, really good place with it. Oh my God, I can't wait for you to hear Marvel. Y'all are not fucking ready, but things are looking up. I'm trying to move actually in the next month, so things are getting a little bit hectic. And it's also that time of the year where YouTube is like, hey, listen, do you do political content? Well, fuck you. The algorithm is not being my friend this month like it was last year. But hey, listen, if you like the show and you like the channel, please go check out some of our older episodes that we've posted earlier this week and even last week. Give us some hype and we can hopefully give some back. But anyway, look, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into this breakdown. And this week we're going to do things a little bit differently, because last week I said, hey, we usually do these 2 big deep dives on major stories because as of late, the Trump administration has just kind of dominated the news cycle entirely. But I actually have a few stories for you today. Some of them are much shorter, some of them a bit longer, and you can just let me know how the format works out. If anything, I'll know if I fucked up again, because the YouTube algorithm would tell me, oh, fucking Google. And let's start off right off the bat with Trump and the T.A.C.O tariffs, both offensive and nutritious. Trump is once again back on that tariff bullshit, once more threatening the EU with 50% tariffs earlier this week. But soon after announcing those tariffs, markets got roiled and he delayed that 50% to July 9th, because again, for the umpteenth time, it is in Trump's best interest for the stock market to not implode. Now, because we've experienced more Trump tariff reversals than straight-to-video Airbud sequels at this point, there's been a term floated around over the past week that's caught on. You may have heard of it. It's called T.A.C.O, aka Trump always chickens out. It was coined by the Financial Times columnist Robert Armstrong to describe the whiplash we feel whenever the markets fall off a cliff and then rise up as soon as Trump realizes he's fucking up his image, which I think is pretty funny. I mean, it's just a funny term, you know, just talking a little bit of shit. Just, you know, don't tell the guy, don't snitch, right, on the joke in front of the guy, you know?
Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the T.A.C.O trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead.
What the fuck, bro? You had one fucking job. Look, I still stand by that Trump is beheld to not letting markets plummet long term because the internal pressure ratchets up whenever he pulls this shit. But why the fuck would you tell the crazy guy on the street holding a gun to the economy, do it, you won't? It just seems like a terrible idea. And I know this because Trump just doubled the tariffs on steel from China, and now we are back in the same bullshit we were in 2 months ago. I'm not saying go easy on this dipshit, right? But do we really need the answer to what does Donald Trump think of Trump always chickens out? I could probably guess. It's not fucking rocket science. Do I think Trump will chicken out of this too? Probably. Do I think it's still really not good when he tries to be reactive to headlines so he looks strong? Also, yes, that's when the worst things happen. You now publicly signaled to this moron, right, that he looks emasculated whenever he doesn't, you know, blow up the economy for a week. And because of that, he's like, oh, you know what, I'll blow it up for 2 weeks. And now China and the US are at each other's throats again, accusing each other of improperly not following the trade agreement. I think to some degree, especially since this news broke on a Friday, it's one of those hijack the news cycle for the weekend kind of things. But yeah, it's just been an absolute mess either way. You had one judge block Trump's ability to issue these kinds of sweeping tariffs before another judge just reversed that. He'll probably back down again at some point, but I do just kind of wish that certain reporters would just take the extra step and understand not only how politicians react to aggressive headlines and try to posture themselves at the expense of important shit like the economy and people, but also I wish they would take that extra step and also prioritize more important fucking questions. But look, let me know what you think in the comments. I like talking shit on Trump. I just wouldn't be like, what do you think of Trump always chickens out? What do you think he thinks? It's great. I love how they hate on me. All right, let's move on to the new SCOTUS ruling on immigration. The Supreme Court on Friday pretty much rolled out the red carpet for the Trump administration to strip humanitarian parole protections for 500,000 migrants, exposing them to deportation. The court also did not explain their reasoning on the summary brief they issued, which actually is normal whenever they issue a summary brief, although 2 justices publicly dissented. One of them being Ketanji Brown Jackson, who said that the court's ruling reflects a belief that it is in the public's interest to have the lives of 500,000 migrants unravel all around us before the courts decide their legal claims. With Karen Tumlin, founder and director of Justice Action Center, saying, I cannot overstate how devastating this is. The court allowed the Trump administration to unleash widespread chaos, not just for our clients and class members, but for their families, their workplaces, and their communities. From my perspective, this is a devastatingly callous ruling, and while it is expected many families will apply for asylum or other protections, with this administration, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen with that? Same administration who was trying to mass cancel all the Chinese student visas like it's some fucking bargaining chip in the trade war. And God forbid you don't like suck Elon dick on social media. Oh, you can't have a visa then. This ruling is also based on a procedural argument, and it's something to keep an eye on because this administration keeps on trying to push through these procedural loopholes to try to get their bullshit across the line. And I'm sure I'm not the only one tired of the, well, there's no rule that dogs can't play basketball ass logic the Supreme Court uses to dictate where things stand sometimes. This is a lot of time how these court battles play out, and I will say I think from the Trump administration 1 to the Trump administration 2, they are far more savvy in how to attack procedural grounds to try to get some of these stupid fucking rulings to bear fruit. But this is where we're at. We'll have to see how this all plays out, and I'll keep you up to date. In the future, an executive order can undo what a previous executive order has done, but that can take a while. And for now, I'll link below to a directory of places with legal assistance for immigrants you can donate to. Fuck this ruling. Let me know what you think in the comments. Listen, this news cycle has ratcheted up its overwhelmingness over the past few weeks, and as somebody who has to cover this thing and who has ADHD, it's a lot, man. I get stressed with the workload of this and Evo, especially around this time of year, and then it'll lead me to getting distracted or freezing or procrastinating, and then having to be like, oh man, I now have to do 6 days of work in 24 hours. I don't have a watch here, but I should. And it gets overwhelming to operate with not only all the information from reality flying at you from your magic square, but also from dealing with everyday life stuff as well. Yes, I have one of those all of my laundry is on my chairs. Look, I mentioned it before, I gotta give a shout out to Magic Mind for being the perfect assist to my brain and focus in the middle of the information hurricane we live in. If I didn't love them, we wouldn't still have them as a sponsor on the channel. Magic Mind is this incredible mental performance shot I've been taking for about a year or so, and it's been insanely helpful at helping relieve stress, keeping focus, as well as just jump-starting my daily routine. I feel less procrastinating, and it kind of calms my mind from going a million different places at once, so I can take a deep breath and engage with my day in the healthiest possible way. And I think the reason for that is because not all energy is the same. Some energy helps you get stuff done, some energy just hypes you up unnecessarily, but thankfully, Magic Mind just launched 2 formulations, Max and Free, which are basically energy solutions tailored to your individual body type. Magic Mind Max actually has a boost of caffeine in it and boosted nootropics, and I had this today when I was going to the gym, and it was a great way to kind of get me over the hump of, do I really want to do this today? And like some of that decision paralysis when you're like in the middle and you want to find out what you're going to work on. Do you want to do HIIT today? Yes, go do it. I had the Free one the other day when I didn't want like too much caffeine in me, but I still wanted to write, and I was dialed in. And that's it. Magic Mind Free is actually caffeine and sugar free with the same amazing nootropic blend for everybody who wants a more organic shot. And like I said, I've been taking the original for about a year now. It's just genuinely great. Helps me lock in and focus on the work that I need to do. And honestly, as a stress reliever, it's been ace. I love the Max one for the gym or the normal one most of the time, but my girlfriend actually prefers the caffeine-free one. She's not a big fan of putting too much caffeine in your body. And look, these actually have a unique launch discount. It's 60% off your subscription, which is the highest discount they've ever had. Just scan the QR code on your screen and use the link in bio to claim it. And I know it won't be around for long since it's a launch offer, so get it while it lasts. So look, if you need help with the overwhelmingness of info coming at you, if you have ADHD and need some help to relieve stress and lock in, and if you like this cool news rap show thing, go to magicmind.com/ZMF or click the QR code on screen and get some peace of mind. All right, back to the breakdown. All right, couple more stories before we wrap up. Let's move on to Taylor Swift buys back her music. Listen, this is actually a big deal, even if you're not like a fucking Taylor Swift fan. For years, you've been probably aware Taylor Swift has been re-releasing bits of her catalog called Taylor's version of the songs because Scooter Braun used to own all of her fucking masters and wouldn't sell them back to her, at least in good faith. It was an incredibly shitty situation, and if you're a musician, you know owning your masters is incredibly fucking important. One thing I love about the Evo project that I get to work on every single year is that everybody who works on that project owns their masters, right? That was really fucking hard to make happen. And I fucking did it. But a master recording of the song, which they use to print all of the other versions of that song ad infinitum, has so much legal shit around it. Not having control of it means you aren't in control of your musical life sometimes. Well, after being denied or stonewalled or gaslit by Braun enough, Taylor re-recorded the songs, making brand new masters of all of our old catalog. And in case you're wondering, don't they still own the song? Songwriting ownership is different than recording master ownership. The music industry is a legal hellscape. Originally, re-recording your masters like this and re-releasing them was seen as an insane, like, stupid gambit. Like, you would never fucking do this. It would absolutely never work. By the way, Taylor Swift is now worth $1.4 billion after doing exactly this multiple times for the last several years. These projects were enormously successful, right? In both sync placements as well as streaming numbers. And now it's being reported that Swift has bought back all of her original masters from the company that currently owns them. What a fucking moment, huh? This is a seriously amazing fucking development for artists. And while people will try to explain it away like, oh, Taylor Swift is a billionaire, no ordinary artist could do this, I'm gonna say fuck off with that. The reason this worked is because of the investment people have in the artist versus the song, right? And it came from Taylor shouting it from the rooftops to her fan base that this was a really big issue. It is now not an impossible model to re-record your masters and say, hey, this is just like what Taylor did, and have the blueprint of why that's important click for your audience after the painstaking work she went through to explain its importance in the media and the press and everything else. That groundwork has been laid for you. I don't think you'll see like a fucking stampede of musicians screaming to get their masters back, right? But you will see a lot more negotiations from the artist side work out better. And I am glad. I can't help but also think about another moment that happened this year with Ryan Coogler and Sinners, and that deal in which the ownership of the movie transfers back to Coogler after 25 years. It goes to show you that as cynical as you can be about corporations running the industries that we love to make art in, there are still avenues to punch through and advocate for your work successfully against their bluster. Taylor did it, Ryan did it, I did it. You can too. Let me know what you think in the comments. And no, I'm not saying, oh, well, it's just easy, just ask for it and it'll happen. No. It's a fight, all right? I got that masters shit figured out with nothing in my pocket, and a lot of people trying to obliterate the project from even existing. And now I'm Gucci because maybe partially I've blocked out a lot of the trauma from my head. But anyway, let's move on to Jordan Peterson's debate fuck up. I hate talking about this guy, but man, I gotta address this shit. Jordan Peterson, as you may know, is a conservative influencer, a professor, and professional guy who smugly tells you that he knows more than you while insufferably offering fucking nothing to the conversation outside of condescending looks at his lessers. Can you tell I'm such a fan? Peterson has been a mainstay of right-wing punditry and media for a while now, but his star hasn't really been as huge as it used to be lately. But it kind of took a huge hit last week after a clip went viral from him on Jubilee. Oh my God. Listen to me. Look at me. I just want to offer some free advice to the debate bros of the world, all right? Don't go on Jubilee. Don't. We did a Griff watch on them. By the way, I'll update you soon about how that's coming back. But Jubilee at this point isn't the flex that you think it is, especially against fucking atheists. Holy shit. No offense to atheists. Some of my best friends are atheists. You see how that sounds? Not great, right? No, but seriously, I'm not trying to shit on atheists here when I tell you that in the list of contrarian debaters, they are in the tier 0 of that list, next to the guy from film school who wants to talk to you about David Fincher all the time and has some really intense opinions about the new Star Wars. Why would Darth Vader let war crimes happen? Oh, it's fucking weird. That is a Sisyphus-like boulder up a hill situation. And Peterson went on this thing, originally billed as Christian versus 20 atheists, and flubbed the fuck out of it. I can't play this for you because Jubilee will flag it because they suck. Jubilee doesn't entirely suck. Go watch the Griff Watch we did on them. But I'm going to tell you what Peterson said in this thing. So it all comes to a head about an hour in when Danny, a guy from the YouTube channel Phil Talk, starts talking about if the Virgin Mary was a figure of worship. Peterson, why is that relevant? Danny, because you go to a Catholic church. I'm sure you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you? You're familiar with their doctrines, how they regard Mary. Peterson, why are you asking me that? Danny, because you're a Christian. Peterson, you say that. I haven't claimed that. Fucking what? Danny, what is this? Christians versus atheists? You don't know where you are right now? Peterson, don't be a smartass, and I mean it because I won't talk to you if you're a smartass. Hey, dumb fuck. It's not him being a smartass, it's the name of the video. Or it was, until Peterson went ahead and asked them to change that shit because otherwise he would look fucking buffoonish, or more explicitly buffoonish than he already looks to anybody with eyes. It continues, Danny, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it? Peterson, I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell you. It's private. It's the name of the fucking video. Danny, I was under the impression that I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian? I think everybody should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video. Peterson, you're really quite something, aren't you? Danny, you're really quite nothing. Peterson, I'm done with him. Jordan, you're a fucking idiot. We'll do something on Jordan Peterson at some point, but just so everybody knows, Jordan Peterson got his bones from a lecture that went viral. I mean organically viral, and by organically viral, I mean he marketed the fuck out of it and tried to play it off like he was discovered for his brilliance of not playing by the rules, when it was the most intentional fucking marketing push to brand him as a genius. Anybody with the smallest semblance of understanding social media ecosystems and marketing like fucking strategies saw through that shit. Most of his personal responsibility shtick is bullshit because he never takes personal responsibility for anything that he does. Like, Jordan, you don't have to tell him that you're Christian, fine, but what the fuck are you doing in that video? Don't invite a bunch of atheists to debate a Christian if you're not gonna cop to that. Tell them they're facing Jordan Peterson, or are you too scared that they'd be like, hey, that sounds weird and kind of like a waste of fucking time? Because it is. I'll be honest, I want to kind of diss you for not having the star power, but there would definitely be people who you could get to debate you on whatever you versus 20 or some shit like that. Why didn't you just fucking do that? No one with a fulfilling fucking life takes any of this shit that this guy does seriously. And if you have some semantic problem with that, Jordan, I can't wait for you to tell your next Jubilee video, man who desperately needs some sort of fucking attention in his twilight years because he's fucking losing grip on reality, versus people who were lied to the subject of the debate they were invited to so this idiot can jerk himself off for the whole fucking hour or whatever it took. This guy is fucking stupid. Unbelievably so. Let me know what you think in the comments. And that's our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you're wondering about Griff Watch and Harry Sisson, very quickly, that episode is old. I have been wanting to release that episode for months now. It is now officially 6 months old. I think a lot of the information in that video is a bit outdated. Some tweets have been deleted. There's other left-leaning influencers I could do a full Griff Watch on. I know a lot of people have suggested the Young Turks, but I do want to kind of bring it back within the next month or so. So do this. Let me know in the comments who you want to see a Griff Watch on. And if you see a comment that mentions somebody, like it. I have a bunch of other episodes written, but I do want to do the next one on a more left-leaning figure because I've already done the right. I've already done the fucking debate bros. We got to cover everything. But also check out the Zed Talks from earlier in the week, and then check out the other Zed Talks I did last week about Democratic infighting. But anyway, my name is Tabani. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go.